We hear the term environmental health thrown around all the time, right? But what does it actually mean for us, for our lives? Well, it's all about the deep, intricate connection between the well-being of our planet and our own well-being. So today, let's actually break that down and see what it really means for our future. Our story really starts with just one number, 8.2 billion. That's how many of us are sharing this one planet right now. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around, and it's getting bigger every single day. So a number that huge, it kind of forces us to ask a really big question, doesn't it? How many people can our world actually support? And maybe the even tougher question is, have we already gone past that limit? This chart right here tells a pretty dramatic story. For thousands of years, the human population just kind of crept along. Then, right around the Industrial Revolution, everything changed. Just look at that curve. It's not even a curve anymore. It's a vertical wall. That sharp upward climb is really the engine behind everything we're about to talk about. Okay, so with that population explosion in mind, we've got to understand the impact. So let's start by looking at what we call our collective human footprint, because really, this is the root of the whole problem. If you've ever had that feeling that we're taking more than the planet can give back, well, you're absolutely right. The data shows we're currently using resources as if we had 1.75 Earths to pull from. Think about it like this. We're living on a credit card with planet Earth, and we are going deeper into ecological debt every single year. So how in the world did we get here? Well, it's actually a pretty simple but powerful equation. On one side, you've got more and more people. We're adding 80 million every single year. And on the other side, we're all using more energy than ever before. You smash those two things together, and what do you get? Just this incredible, unprecedented pressure on our planet. Okay, so all of that pressure, it has to go somewhere, right? So what are the actual, real-world consequences? What does it look like when a planet is really being pushed to its limits? One of the biggest consequences is something you've probably heard of, the greenhouse effect. It's actually pretty simple. The sun's energy comes down, warms up the Earth, and normally some of that heat bounces back into space. No big deal. But all the gases we release from burning fossil fuels, CO2 and all that, it acts like a giant invisible blanket around the planet. It traps that heat, and things just keep getting warmer and warmer. And just to be super clear, this isn't some small change we're talking about. Listen to this quote. Carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide levels are now higher than any time in at least the past 800,000 years. 800,000 years. That's way before modern humans were even a thing. Now, beyond what we put in the air, there's what we put in the ground. Have you ever actually stopped to think about what's in your trash? Well, take a look at this. It's kind of surprising, right? Almost half of everything we toss out isn't plastic, it's paper and food waste. And what happens after we throw it away? This is where my mind just gets blown. That paper? Gone in a few months. Okay. But that plastic bottle you used for maybe 10 minutes? That's sticking around for 450 years. A single diaper? 500 years. And a glass bottle? 1,000,000 years. It's just, wow. Our little moments of convenience create legacies of trash that will outlive entire civilizations. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the planet, but what does a stressed-out planet actually mean for us, for the people living here? This is where the story gets really, really personal. Let's connect the dots between a strained environment and our own health. 7 million. Just take that in. 7 million. According to the World Health Organization, that's how many people die prematurely every single year. Why? From breathing polluted air. This isn't some far-off environmental concept. This is a massive public health crisis happening right now. And it's not just one thing, as you can see from this chart. It's like a domino effect. Look at these pathways. Rising temperatures? That leads directly to things like heat stroke and heart problems. More extreme weather? That causes physical injuries, sure, but also deep mental health trauma. It's this complex web where every single environmental issue has a direct and often painful consequence for us. And it's not just the air we breathe, it's also the noise. A normal conversation is about 60 decibels, right? But once you get up to 85, think heavy city traffic, and you're around that for a long time, you can cause permanent damage to your hearing. It's another one of those invisible environmental stresses that really takes a toll on our bodies. Wow, okay, I know, this can all feel pretty heavy, a little overwhelming even. But here's the good news. The story doesn't end here. It doesn't have to. So let's shift gears. Let's talk about the path forward, because there are solutions.
At the heart of all these solutions is this one core idea: sustainable development. It sounds complicated, but the definition is actually really simple and, well, beautiful. It's all about meeting our needs today without wrecking the ability of future generations to meet theirs. It's all about finding that balance.
So let's get practical. Let's take the challenge of air pollution. What can we actually do? We can cut back on driving, even just a little. We can choose appliances that use less energy. We can switch to better light bulbs. We can plant a tree. See, none of these are massive, impossible tasks. They're just small, deliberate choices that, when we all make them, add up to something huge. Okay, next challenge, water. How can we help? Well, maybe take slightly shorter showers. Install those fixtures that use less water. You know that drip, drip, drip from a leaky faucet? Fix it. And please don't pour toxic stuff down the drain. It's really just about remembering how precious water is and treating it that way. And finally, let's talk about all that trash. The best solution here actually starts before you even buy something. Can you limit how much single-use plastic you bring home? Can you use a reusable coffee cup or water bottle? And for things like old phones and laptops, that's e-waste. It needs to be recycled properly, not just tossed in a landfill. And really, that brings us right back to the core truth of it all. The future of our environment is the future of our health. They're not two separate things, they're one and the same. The problems, yeah, they're big, they're real. But the solutions, they start small. They start with us. They start with a single choice. So the only real question left is, what choice are you going to make today?